Alright everybody, how y'all doing, and welcome back to my channel. I am here with an unboxing of a power supply from Apevia, 600 watts. Yes. Now before I get into the unboxing of it, I'm going to explain why I chose this power supply here and what was the reason for me buying it. Now y'all know I use Apevia. I use Apevia in about damn near every video I've done, and everybody had backlashed it for no reason. And I hated that. I really hated that. And then a lot of people sit down and say, oh, you know what you're doing. You know how to build gaming PCs. Okay, if I'm going to build a gaming PC using Apevia, I'll use the 80 plus bronze, as 80 and TechSource did when he had put the RTX 4070 on a build he did, which I'll be putting in the link in the description below. A nice good 80 plus bronze PSU that was not costing that much. Now recently I went ahead on and updated my editing system with the Apevia 700 watt power supply, and the baby is running good. Now I'm going to update my entertainment rig in the living room with the 600 watt. Why I'm going with this here? Because when I was watching my Netflix and engaging into TV activity while I'm doing YouTube, etc., my system kept rebooting for no reason. Just it rebooted about 6, 7, 8 times. So what I had did was I had brought me a power supply tester to make sure my rails are right. Guess what? My rails are reading right on that RAID Max RX 550 watt PSU. And I still have no conclusion of why I was doing it. So I went ahead on and brought this Apevia power supply off Amazon. Now I'm gonna let the gamers know, when y'all watching this, do not buy a power supply like this if it's not efficient certified. If it don't have the 80 plus bronze symbol on it, don't buy it. Why I say that? Because these new motherboards now are coming out power hungry. Whether you are overclocking it or not, you could go ahead on and run this off using the Z790 in non-overclocking mode, but guaranteed that it's going to go ahead and burn this power supply, because that motherboard is too power hungry. If you're on the Intel 13th and 14th gen processors, or if you're on the AMD AM5 7900X processor. Yes, I said it. Now, by me mentioning those motherboards, those CPUs, I would not put this power supply on that power hungry motherboard, because it has 24 plus 8 plus 10 power phasing that you can switch to for overclocking. If you got in auto mode, it's going to go ahead on and juice this power supply, because it has so much power to push into that motherboard and all those VRAMs and capacitors and transistors on that motherboard. Now let's get into it. Now if you are on a simple regular system and you have a 300 watt power supply, I would recommend that. Simple system systems and motherboards that are 65 watt thermal design power to no more than 100 watt thermal design power, and have low VRMs on the motherboard. If you understand what VRMs are, they're called voltage regulated modules, where it pushes enough power into the CPU that runs it on a function level where you don't have to overclock it. Now if you keep everything in auto, the motherboard will send out enough power to the CPU to go ahead and push it in overclocking mode. But if you sit down here adjusting levels and you're undervolting and you're overvolting, then this CPU will not be for you. Alright, enough talking. Let's get into it. This is the Apevia Spirit power supply. It has stable and reliable silent fan with smart thermal fan speed control circuit, cosmic black cases, support single 12 volt output or higher power usage. Dimension is 150 by 85 by 160 millimeters. Your simple basic box by Apevia. And you can't go wrong with it. So let's get into the product. Now, just like I said, and some of y'all hate me saying it, some of y'all don't like doing it. Your manual, so you can understand what you have to use in your system. One thing I like about it is, you know, it comes with your power cable. And this baby looks so sweet, and I love it. And this is one reason why I use Apevia. And then, of course, it comes with your thumb case screws, so you can use those to screw them in the back. Which I will be doing it as well. One thing I love about it, and you can see I'm all excited for it. Yes, sir. You can see I'm all excited for it. Is the cabling. Look how nice and black that looks. Look how nice and black that looks. Got your 18 gauge wiring. So you got good quality cable wire. How I know it's 18 gauge? Because of the thickness of the wiring. If you don't see it, you can see the thickness of it. Now some of y'all probably say, Ron, that look to be 16 gauge. Now if you put 16 gauge wiring on electrical, 16 gauge and 14 gauge is just your basic speaker wires. You use that only for speaker wire. But for electrical, you want to go 18 gauge or higher. And the people did that there. So they did that very, very good. Just like I like the nice, sexy black cabling. None of that ketchup and mustard cabling. So yes, there you go. Nice, heavy quality feel. Now I could go ahead and open it up. It don't bother me one bit because I can open it up and show y'all the motherboard. But you can go ahead and see your motherboard through there. A nice little coil wine, you know, you can see it through there. It just shows your basic, simple, basic motherboard, you know. The weight of it feels good. It feels heavy. So that's a good thing. Let's get into your cable and what comes with it. As you saw on the instructions. You get what as it says in instructions. So yes, you get a nice good long feet cabling. So yes, you could go ahead and run this here through from, if you connect them bottom, you can run it bottom. You got no issues with connecting your cables up to the motherboard. Okay, so now let's slide this down some and let's go over your cabling. You have your 24 pin motherboard cable. Okay, this is your 4 pin to 8 pin CPU cable. If you want to go ahead and put it back together, you can. And this is good for motherboards that don't require much power to it. If you go ahead and get your overclocking mechanism, that's good. I don't have the cabling on there right, but that's good. This is your 8-pin CPU power rail here. And I like the cable. And the cable, you can see the good quality cabling. If you see any cabling that is very thin, I mean thin like bread wrapper, like bread wrap, with this thin, you can see the thin quality of it. And back in the 80s and 90s, you had cabling like this because we was on low power systems. So, but in today's world, if your cable wiring on your PSU looks like this, don't connect it up. Because I saw a lot of companies on AliExpress that's doing it. Then y'all not paying attention to your cable wiring. Okay, here is your PSU 6-pin connecting rail there. So yes, you got your 6-pin, 8-pin. And it comes down to your connectors. How many connectors do you get on these rails? Okay, you get 1, 2 SATAs, 2 Molex. Now some of y'all hate using Molex, but You cannot go wrong with it. If you need to collect certain source lighting from the case using the Molex power, then that's good too. And on the other rail, you got the same thing. So you got two Molex and two SATAs. So it comes with four SATAs and four Molex. Now, if you need to connect SATA extensions to the Molex, you can. You can have more SATA connects off your Molex rails. So yes, will I recommend Apevia power supplies to gamers? Yes. I would recommend gamers use certified power efficient power supplies for those power motherboards you are using. Why I know I could trust Apevia brand, because I've been using them ever since in 2020, 2021. Great quality, so I ain't got really worried about anything with that. And Eddie from TechSource, he used one in building an RTX 4070 80 plus bronze power supply, and it powered great for his system and with no issues and no hiccups. Now I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out, and I'm gonna go ahead on in and tell you why we're switching and why I will recommend this power supply for you. All right, everybody, this is the final of why I recommend Apevia's power supplies. They Spirit, they Essence, and etc. Is one, I trust the brand. That's one thing. I trust the brand, and I know where I'm going at with this type power supply. Now, if you own a basic, simple system that you're still having around, and you just refreshed it up, gave it a new case, new look, new everything, but you still using the same saddle drive and etc. Same CPU, but you say, you know what, I don't like this rink-a-dink power supply that came out in 2000 or 1995. I want something better. So yes, I will recommend this here power supply for you for your needs. Now, just like I said in the video, it comes with your rails, your 24 power rail, your CPU 8-pin rail, as well as your GPU rail, your 8-pin, 6-pin, and you get two more, you get four Molex as well as four SATAs. So now, here's the pictures of it. And yes, I have purchased it in January 8, 2024, because all last year I was on the Raid Max power supply, which I still have, and I put up. I might be using it into a regular simple build, old school build. If you're on the socket 370 or something like that, I could use that. But, or 775, or you stepping up to 1155, low powered. If you're still on the i3 or the i5, I'll put that on second gen, third gen CPUs. I can use that there. But one thing I noticed with that Raid Max is that I have a lot of music on my SATA drive, and my whole SATA line ran out. Two, with the Raid Max RX 550, I noticed that it kept rebooting my system for no reason. I'm engaging into my movie. I got my little Prime Video going and watch the old school movie, and all of a sudden my system reboot. Start up again, reboot, start up again. And it kept doing that all last year during December, during the holiday time, late November, early December. So I said, you know what? I had took that power supply out, and I went with my Coolmax old school power supply, which is powering the system up perfectly. But everything is low power, so I'm not worrying about with the R9 270, the Q9550, 8 gigabyte of DDR13 33 megahertz. So the speeds is great there. It's on the SSD, the silicone power, but it just kept rebooting through that little janky power supply. I also brought a power tester to test it. When I connected up, everything reading fine. All the rails are reading perfectly, but for some reason, it just pulling too much power. And I'm sitting down in the living room about the third week or the last week of December, and I'm smelling stuff smoking. like something was about to catch on fire. So when I went head on and shut everything off, and I smelled the back of the power supply, I'm like, wait a minute, one of my capacitors is burning out. So I could probably have a faulty motherboard on the power supply. What I recommend, Raid Max. Now I've been using Raid Max 80 plus white. I've been using the brand, so Raid Max is pretty decent as in cases and case fans, but on certain power supplies, if it's not 80 plus gold or 80 plus bronze or anything like that, I would not recommend you buying them. And you gotta check the quality of the cable like I did. Now the Apevia is on 18 gauge wiring. So the wiring is quality is great. So I can't go wrong with this power supply here. So yes, it is $33.99 from Amazon. If you are on low power systems like the Intel 775, and you want to go ahead on and get off that manufactured motherboard from Hewlett power supply from Hewlett Packard or Dell, then you could go ahead and buy this. Now, for gamers, as you see the power supply, before I go switch over, as you see the power supply, it looks decent. Very good, decent. Now, I've been using the Apevia for almost, what, 3 years now, and I have no issues with it. I have the Essence 700 watt in my system going strong. My editing rate, this is on the Ryzen 5 3600, so I have no issues with it. And if Eddie from TechSource could use them, so can I. But make sure that you get a certified power supply if you are using power hungry motherboards. If you don't trust the brand, and if you're not an overclocker, then stay away from this power supply. But if you a non-overclocker and you run everything in auto normal mode, then this power supply is for you. Apevia brand is for you. Now, just like I said in the picture, it had your ketchup and mustard. But one thing about Apevia I like, and I was shocked, and I showed it to you, that they are all black. So no ketchup and mustard here. But if you're sick and tired of looking at that look, and if you want to go ahead on and give it a good fresh, you go ahead on and get you some easy DIY cables. Did the unboxing that I'll be putting that video link in the description below if you want to see that as well too. They go your power rails. So I'll be checking those out as well too before I put in my entertainment rig because it's up due for cleaning. And I'm not gonna go ahead on and put the brand new power supply into a dusty system that I gotta go ahead and clean this year. Yes, all my systems are dusty and they pulling some heavy dust. And there you go. I mean, everything's right there. So I showed you the instruction booklet. So if you don't know what you're doing, please take time to read your instructions. I am getting sick of telling everybody that don't read the instructions, just go hook up and I'm blowing stuff out. So take the time out and read your instructions. Do your research on the product before you buy it. Me, when it comes down as a realist and a person that go on real values, I take the time out and I research manufacturers. And this is how I went over Apevia. Why I love Apevia because I've been using their case fans for the past 3 to 4 years now. Their case fans are good, so I say, hey, if their case fans are good and they have some good crate cases, that I'm thinking about buying one for a rebuild that I gotta do for a friend. So I might just go ahead and buy one of these Apevia cases and use it for his build. And I got another client. She's a female. She wants the same thing too. So I might be using their products for their rebuild coming up sometime this year or next year when they get the money ready and everything. Right now they're doing stuff that's dealing with their personal life. So I'm not gonna get into that there. But if you want to go ahead and use the people, I'll be putting their information in the link in the description below. Now, why I'm a good fan of using third-party manufacturers and beyond, because I take my time to research. I don't use the top tier manufacturers. I know underneath it, there's sub-party manufacturers that uses the top tier to design their parts, but not doing quality cuts, but giving you the best, but on their perspectives. Okay, let's go into the store. As you see, the case line up right there, great cases. The Prism Elite, the Aurora, Destiny Pro, Destiny Mesh, and Phantom. Their power supplies. Now, just like I said, if you are a gamer and you want to use Apevia and you are an overclocker, here is where you go: 80 plus gold and 80 plus platinum. If you trust the brand, buy the product. If you don't trust the brand, then stick with what you know. Stick with what's been used in all these recopied videos on YouTube. Stick with what you know. If you want to use the code SEER, EVGA, you want to pay more money, and I'm gonna get into that in the end of the video. They got their cooling fans, all ARGB, computer accessories, if you need cabling, etc., etc. Right there, they got the Molex to SATA. Yes, so I'll be putting their link in the description below. This is just a part of what they sell on Amazon. Now, I'm gonna go ahead on and understand why I don't buy EVGA power supplies. Because like I said, I stick with 600 watts to no more than 700 watts, depending on the base of what I'm using my system for. If my system is overclocking, I got a 105 watt power supply, or I got a 150 watt thermal design power supply. I'm on the 24 plus 8 to 10 power phase motherboard, and I got a heavy powered GPU like the RTX 40 and 30 series, then I will go ahead on and use an 80 plus platinum or gold for those bills. I prefer to use platinum because it kicks out more power wattage the way I use. Just like I said, if I'm putting all that high-end power stuff, I go 1,000 or higher. Now, here's the EVGA products. Just like I said, this is an 850 80 plus gold, $134. Let me go ahead and slim it down because I went to the store, PSUs. Okay. And I like to stick with bronze for my gaming. So I am not paying $64 for a 550 watt power supply. I am not paying not $100 for a 750 watt power supply. Now, the highest I go is 700 watts. $90 for a plus bronze, 650 watts. That's $95. Come on now. And y'all know I'm a budget friendly shop. I'm very frugal with how I spend my money because I like to put more back into the bank. And some of y'all love to use Corsair. And this is where I don't do what other people uses in videos, because a lot of us is on budget. We may not have that kind of tight money to kick out. So that's another reason why. Think of you and think of why. 80 plus bronze. Exactly, 650 going for $70. 750 watt going for $109. And some of y'all gamers think the more money you spend on the PC and PC pairs, the better the rig. Absolutely not. That's bias. And I wish y'all to stop. And if y'all listening, I want y'all to stop doing that, because y'all sending out mixed information to us consumers, saying that, oh, well, I gotta go ahead and spend more money just to have a better system. No, the better system is based upon the CPU, motherboard, RAM, and GPU. If you go on full max to 128 gigabytes, then hey, that's your best system. That's her best system. If you like me, and like 32 megahertz of RAM, 216 gig sticks. I'm on the Ryzen 5 6 cores 12 threads. I'm on my gaming rig 4 cores 8 threads, and everything in the house is 4 cores 4 threads. Yes, yeah, that's great, but you don't need a strong power supply paying this much money for just a simple basic power supply. The Corsair 550 watts going for $192. Come on, let's be real. So that's the main reason why, and I'm not going to bore y'all too long, so we're going to close this video out. That's the main reason why I choose power supplies that I love. and this is one of them. Apevia and RS Gang is where I go. I use RS Gang, or I could use Apevia if I could get a 80 plus bronze. If not, I go to gold and just have to kick out the little cash. They very inexpensive, budget friendly, good quality material. Now, if you pick up a power supply and you do the weight test in your hand, and if it feels like a feather, that's not good quality by experience. And trust me, I got a lot of lightweight featherweights back in the old school days. We not in 2005. We're not in 2008 or 9. If I'm using those power supplies that I mentioned from that year span, that means I am building a 35 watt to 50-watt PC system. Yes. And y'all don't want to go old school because I love watch a lot of old school tech. And we talking about the socket 370, the K6 processors, etc. The socket 370s, yes. The Intel Pentium processors. Yes. PGA pin guide array. Just yes. And one reason why I like using Apevia, why? Because they budget friendly and they good quality for basic PC users like me that don't believe in overclocking and etc. I'm gonna close this video out. I want to thank y'all for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to post your comments or whatever, well, Ron, I like using Cosell, then use Cosell. I like using on Silverstone or Seasonic. Use what you like for your build. Just like I said, if you're building a high-end rig using the Z790, the 14900K CPU with the RTX 4080 or Super or 4090, then you know the type of power supply you need. You need the gold or the platinum. And I ain't gonna sit down here under cost power when you can go ahead and have your power level set right. Alrighty, I thank y'all for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace, and I love you.